The crystal chandeliers filled the elegant banquet hall with a warm golden glow. In the center of the room stood a beautifully decorated three-tier birthday cake, untouched and waiting. Every table had been prepared with care. Fresh flowers, sparkling glasses, and neatly folded napkins made it look as though an unforgettable celebration was about to begin. Every invited guest had confirmed they would attend, but when the clock quietly struck 7 in the evening, the entrance remained silent. Not a single person arrived. At the front of the ballroom sat Emma Lawson, a respected business leader alone in her wheelchair. She looked across the empty hall, trying to hide the disappointment growing inside her. Despite being one of the nation's most admired CEOs, tonight she felt invisible. A tragic car accident years earlier had left her unable to walk. Although she had rebuilt her career with incredible determination, many relationships had slowly disappeared. Some people treated her with sympathy, while others quietly drifted away. Her birthday had become a painful reminder of how easily success could attract admiration but not always genuine friendship. Just as she was about to ask the staff to clear the room, the large ballroom doors slowly opened. A modestly dressed single father stepped inside, carrying a worn backpack over one shoulder while gently holding his young daughter's hand. They looked around nervously, clearly unsure if they belonged among the luxury surrounding them. No one could have guessed that their unexpected arrival was about to turn an evening of heartbreak into a story that everyone present would remember for the rest of their lives. Before the story continues, take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you believe kindness has the power to change lives. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories that remind people compassion still matters. Years before that unforgettable evening, Emma Lawson had built one of the country's fastest-growing technology companies. She was known for making bold decisions, leading with integrity, and inspiring thousands of entrepreneurs. Then one stormy night, everything changed. While driving home after an important business meeting, another vehicle lost control on the rain-soaked highway and crashed into her car. Emma survived the collision, but the severe spinal injury permanently changed her life. Learning to live in a wheelchair was one of the greatest challenges she had ever faced. Physical therapy tested her strength every day, but emotional healing proved even more difficult. Some longtime friends gradually stopped calling. Several business associates became distant. Others looked at her wheelchair before they looked at her. Still, Emma refused to let tragedy define her future. She returned to the office with the same determination that had built her company, proving that true leadership comes from courage, vision, and character, not from physical ability. Yet every birthday carried a quiet sadness. It reminded her of loved ones she had lost, friendships that had faded, and the simple moments of happiness she once took for granted. Emma's personal assistant had spent nearly a month planning what was supposed to be an unforgettable birthday celebration. The ballroom had been reserved. World-class chefs prepared an extraordinary menu, and elegant decorations transformed the venue into something magical. Invitations were delivered to influential business leaders, public figures, entertainers, longtime colleagues, and friends from every chapter of Emma's life. The responses seemed promising. Nearly everyone accepted. For the first time in many years, Emma allowed herself to believe that this birthday might bring more than business conversations and polite smiles. Maybe it would remind her that she was valued not only as a successful executive, but also as a person. That hope didn't last long. Only hours before the event, cancellation messages began appearing, one after another. One guest claimed an urgent board meeting had come up. Another blamed unexpected travel delays. Several mentioned family obligations or sudden illness. Others never bothered to offer any explanation at all. By sunset, every confirmed guest had withdrawn. The magnificent ballroom remained exactly as it had been prepared, except there were no voices, no laughter, and no footsteps filling the space. Emma quietly sat beside the untouched birthday cake, surrounded by rows of empty chairs. The silence felt heavier than any criticism she had ever faced during her career. For a brief moment, she questioned whether people had truly cared about her or if they had simply admired the influence and success she represented. Meanwhile, across the city, Daniel Carter finished the final stop on another long day as a package delivery driver. 4 years earlier, cancer had taken his wife, leaving him to raise their 12-year-old daughter, Lily. On his own, every day demanded sacrifice. He worked long hours to provide for his daughter, while doing everything possible to make sure she never felt alone. Money was often tight, but Daniel believed kindness cost nothing. As he delivered a package to the luxury hotel hosting Emma's celebration, he noticed employees quietly collecting untouched meals and decorations. Curious, he asked one of the staff members what had happened. The employee explained that the birthday party had practically ended before it began because every invited guest had canceled. Daniel glanced across the ballroom and saw a woman sitting alone beside a beautifully decorated cake. There was something in her expression that immediately caught his attention. It reminded him of the lonely evenings when Lily silently missed her mother, trying to be brave while carrying a pain no child should experience. Without giving himself time to overthink, Daniel asked if it would be inappropriate for him and his daughter to greet the birthday guest. The hotel manager paused for a moment before offering a gentle smile and saying they were welcome. Daniel returned to his delivery van, where Lily was waiting with a book in her lap. Taking her hand, he led her toward the quiet ballroom. When Emma noticed them approaching, surprise replaced the sadness on her face. They clearly weren't wealthy. Daniel still wore his delivery uniform after a full day's work, and Lily carried a tiny handmade gift, wrapped in plain paper, decorated with colorful drawings she had created herself. Daniel smiled warmly. "We know we weren't invited," he said softly, "but no one should have to celebrate a birthday completely alone." His words filled the room with a warmth that expensive decorations never could. Lily stepped forward with a shy smile and handed Emma the small gift. Inside was a handmade birthday card. The front showed 3 smiling people standing together beside a birthday cake under a bright blue sky. On the inside, written carefully in a child's handwriting, was a simple message: "Everyone deserves to know they matter." Before Emma reached the last word, tears blurred her vision. For the first time that evening, she no longer felt forgotten. For the first time that night, a genuine smile appeared on Emma's face. It was small at first, but it carried more warmth than the expensive decorations surrounding her. The hotel employees, who had quietly witnessed everything from across the ballroom, exchanged glances before deciding they couldn't let the evening end in silence. One server returned carrying fresh cups of hot coffee. A pastry chef carefully lit the birthday candles once again. The pianist, who had already closed the piano and packed away his sheet music, walked back to the stage and gently began playing a familiar birthday melody. Slowly, the atmosphere transformed. Housekeeping staff paused their work to join the celebration. Security officers stepped inside and applauded. Waiters served the untouched meal with cheerful smiles instead of professional formality. Within minutes, the once empty ballroom was filled with laughter, conversation, and heartfelt wishes. Emma looked around, overwhelmed by what she was seeing. The influential guests she had expected to celebrate with never arrived. Instead, the people who worked quietly behind the scenes became the ones who made her birthday unforgettable. As everyone shared dinner together, Daniel spoke openly about life after losing his wife. He described the challenges of raising Lily on his own and explained that during the hardest moments, people rarely needed perfect advice. Sometimes they simply needed someone willing to stay beside them. Emma listened in silence. Years of corporate success had taught her how to build companies. That evening taught her how meaningful, simple human kindness could be. When Monday morning arrived, employees gathered at company headquarters expecting another major business announcement. Instead, Emma introduced a completely different vision. She announced the creation of a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping single parents, family caregivers, and individuals rebuilding their lives after serious injuries. She called it the Empty Chair Project, a reminder that no one should ever feel abandoned during life's most difficult moments. To everyone's surprise, Emma invited Daniel to lead the organization's community outreach efforts. Daniel immediately questioned whether he was qualified for such an important responsibility. Emma smiled before answering. "Skills can be learned," she said softly. "A compassionate heart cannot be manufactured." She believed the greatest leaders weren't always the ones with impressive RSMs. Often, they were ordinary people who chose kindness when nobody expected anything from them. Over the following months, The foundation reached thousands of families facing hardship. Parents found support. Caregivers discovered hope. People recovering from devastating injuries realized they weren't fighting alone, and every meaningful change could be traced back to one simple decision: a father choosing to walk into a room everyone else had walked away from. On Emma's office desk sat Lily's handmade birthday card, carefully protected inside a small glass frame. Whenever business pressures became overwhelming, Emma would read the message written by a 12-year-old girl. It reminded her that success is measured not by how many people applaud you when life is easy, but by who chooses to stand beside you when the room is empty. That birthday was never remembered because of luxury, expensive decorations, or influential guests. It became unforgettable because a father and his daughter proved that one sincere act of kindness can accomplish what wealth, power, and popularity never could.